Welcome to Gospel Diaries, a platform that offers a unique avenue for artists to share their stories, express their emotions, thoughts, and personal journeys. Today we celebrate the holiday season with Donald Buster Woods. What's going on, Gospel Diaries? Listen here, I am still in the city of Chicago and I'm excited. If you look over to my right, and he's going to be on your left, I believe, praise be to God. And we're talking about none other than Mr. Donald Buster Woods. First of all, can I shake your hand?
Come on, man. Come on, man. My boy. I've been doing dude since he was a shorty. Talking about, can I shake your hand? Go on, bro.
I appreciate that. Listen, this is the Christmas season, and we're spreading love, and I thought it was befitting to come to Chicago and salute Donald Buster Woods, because he has really been a pillar to the gospel community on the west side, south side, and really the city of Chicago and the surrounding suburbs. So I just thought it was befitting. He started a choir called G3, and we're going to get into the synonym for the choir, as well as his group called His People. And he's also, I believe, the minister of music here at Destiny Worship Center, Pastor DeAndre Patterson. So we're in for a treat, and I'm just excited. Man, how are you feeling today?
Man, I'm good, man. I'm off work this week. So, hey, you picked a good week to get at me. I'm nice and relaxed, and, I'm just glad, man. I'm glad that you took out time to spend some time with me today, man. It's really good.
Long time coming.
I know, right?
You've been on the battlefield for quite some time.
Yeah, that's what they say, the battlefield.
Yeah. My mind goes back with traveling with my dad when he used to videotape.
Yes, man. My guy, man. Frank, bro.
Frank Clark, rest in peace.
Rest in peace, man.
And I believe it was one time, were you ever working for D Natural?
Working for it, that was my company.
Thank you. Okay.
Me and David Allison. Yes, that's what it was called, D Natural, because Donald and David. That's why we called it D Natural. Yeah, that's why we called it D Natural.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Me and David started the company. Of course, Derek Williams, another rest in peace brother. He helped us to establish this company, and we started that company. And so your dad was very instrumental. And like every time we had something, somebody need video. Calling Frank, because we already knew what was up.
I appreciate that. I guess that kept food on our table.
It did, and it kept you around some great musicians. I think that and not to deviate, but that kind of is probably what helped you with your love of gospel, and you know what I'm saying. Being around, if you're around an element, it's gonna automatically make you be a part of it and love it.
Yeah. I remember one time my dad was videotaping at Bishop Forrest Church, St. Paul, right?
St. Paul.
And I believe Timothy Wright was the guest this one particular time. Now, tell me if you remember the one time, I can't remember what he was. I think he was singing "Been There, Done That." And somebody was on. He said, "Stand the pocket, Doc."
Yeah.
Were you there?
I was there. I was on the organ.
Thank you. Because that's why I brought it up.
Yeah, I was on the organ at the time.
When I saw you, I'm like, okay, so he praised.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So that brought it full circle for me, man.
Yeah. That was during LaVanya Whitley used to bring in this big thing, interdenominational mass choir. She would bring Timothy in. Yeah, it was a big deal.
Yeah. So let's talk about your passion behind this. I call it the Sacred Desk. That's that Hammond B3.
Oh man, for real.
So how did that get started?
Well, so as a child, growing up as a Church of God in Christ boy, you have to play like multiple instruments. That's a given, right? Write it down. You have to play the drums. You have to play the organ. You have to play. At some point, you're going to wind up playing multiple instruments. And so I started playing drums in church at Unity Church of God in Christ over here on the west side when at 7. And then I got a little bored with it. And my mom was like, okay, great. We're going to learn how to play the violin then. I'm like, the what? I'm like, that's not what I was meaning, But at 8 violin lessons, at 9 years old, classical piano lessons, and it was really, I just gravitated toward that instrument at 9 years old. When I was 10, I picked up trumpet, so I started just accumulating all of these types of instruments and learning how to play these instruments. And but I continued on, of course, with piano. And I had an incredible teacher named Dennis Smith. He used to play at First Corinthian, Angie Spivey's church.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, he was their music director, their minister of music. Actually, Angie was the minister of music, but he was a MD. And he was my music teacher at Dorland Academy of Music in Oak Park. And that's where I really found my deep love for Hammond organ.
Your own style. Like, how was you able to find your own style?
It's crazy because he used to get on my case because I used to like doing a lot of runs. So he's like, "Hey man, learn some chords. Like, okay, you got to play some chords. Like, there's enough of that church stuff. You know, they gonna shout, nigga. You got that, but you got to learn some songs. You gotta." So he actually taught me to develop my own style of playing, and I took lessons with him from like 9 till about 14, and then I stopped. And then my mom was like, "You take a little break." I took a break, and she was like, "Okay, now it's time for you to go back." I went back, and when I went back, those years that I had accumulated with him, I kind of became was taking my tape recorders to churches and listening to.
Wait a minute, so you were still in the era of the tape cassette player? Okay.
Absolutely, the small tape recorder. You press the button, you hold it, and you have it on the side. Don't nobody even know you got it right. I used to do that. Go to churches and put it by Ed Shower's organ. I used to Lamont Lennox. Just going listening to different people, and I would go and try to mimic what they were doing. And when I went back to Dora Lynn, she was like, the president was like, "You're really good now. Would you like to start teaching?" And I was like, "What?" I was like 14, I'm like, "Yeah." So I became a student teacher, teaching music there. And by the time I was 16, I was full-blown teacher.
Wow. Let's talk about some of the things that younger musicians should look forward to as it relates to retirement.
Wow, retirement. That's crazy. So, I had told myself by the time I turned 55, I said the double nickel is the year I will play the organ because I want to, not because I have to, right? So I'm 51 now. And so I've made up in my mind that's what it's going to be. I got 4 more years of playing because I have to, not because I want to. But I think musicians, you hear people say, you need to get a job. I've had a job my whole time, right? I'm a school teacher now. And so it's gonna, the whole time I was either teaching at the academy or I was teaching I opened up a school in Chinatown or in the classroom. So I've always been connected to music education. So for me, it was the future. For me, let's talk about what the future is going to be. When I turned 40, that's when I knew life is going to be different. And so I was leading up to 40, being 40 years old. I was like, let me make some changes. And so you start to realize that life be life. And like, you can't just live your life as like, oh, I'm just going to play this keyboard until it's all over, man. Think about the future.
Right.
And so a lot of these guys need to, think about what the future may hold for them.
Right.
A lot of them are not good enough to last through 40 years old. They're not even trying to get better, right? So they're going to be stuck. They're at a threshold. They can't go any further. And so you need to think about how far you can go with what you have.
A little bit about the church that you were raised in. Like,
okay.
Are you a West Sider? You a South
What?
Sider?
Hey man, hold on, don't play with me. Now if you want me to sit up, I sit up. You know what side of town I'm from?
What side?
West Side.
Yes, sir.
And I'm gonna be West Side till it's all over with. I tried to live on the South Side for 4 years. I got 5 boots from the city of Chicago. I'm putting this on camera. No, no. I'm West Side through and through, bro.
Okay.
My church is on the West Side. Lamont and Ferdinand Unity Church of God in Christ is where I grew up at. I was playing. Actually, I wasn't playing at first. Playing drums, and then it was an older lady who played, and then it was a younger guy who played. Who was a little older than me. His name is Mike Kennedy. I don't know if you know him. He's a great singer, and he's a great musician too. He plays too. But Mike was better than me. And so in my mind, I'm going like, I'll never get a chance to play because this guy's here. Or I'll never get a chance to play because Sister Ruby's there. So I'll never play. I'll play the piano every now and then when somebody's not here. Well, I'm thinking that these people will never leave the church. The guy left the church. This family left the church. And so I was next man up. And I got thrown into it. Like, I get to it. I'm like, whoa. So that's how I really learned how to just become what can I say? The quintessential church musician. Because you gotta know everything. I was at Tuesday night service, Thursday night service, Sunday morning service, and Sunday night. That was my whole week automatically. And I was playing those services. They had something called Tarian service that people don't know nothing about.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah, they don't know nothing about. They don't know nothing about that.
Don't get me started.
Do you know what I'm saying? I know you know. But the church was built on hymns, congregational music, choir music, and some Tarian service and some shouting. So if you had all those elements, and you could pretty much go and play anywhere. The Church of God in Christ weren't so much hymn based, right, but congregational based. So the fact that I was able to play at different Baptist churches opened up my ear to more hymns. Also, going to Lutheran schools also it helped exactly. Dr. Luck, to this day, he's dead and gone. But when I remember, I turned around, I was in probably 6th grade. I turned around and looked up at a pipe, somebody playing a pipe organ at St. Paul Lutheran School on the west side, on Menard. I'll never forget it. And I turned around the first time we had chapel, and I looked up there and I said, that is incredible. I want to do that. Yeah. And that's what kind of really steered me also, because I was like, volleyball, yeah, that's fun. Playing basketball, that wasn't me. Right. But when I saw that, it changed my whole perspective on like what I want to do in my life in 6th grade. And so Dr. Luck, I would always like ask my teacher, can I walk up there and say hello to Dr. Luck? You know, they were like, yeah, go on. You know, it was more like, yeah, if you want to, you know, but I was so enthralled by him. I was like looking at his musicianship and just looking at the big behemoth pipe organ. And it was so, it brought me to tears sometimes. Yeah. And so it was different for me. For me, that was what kind of helped me to become that.
What most do you remember about the holiday season at Unity?
Wow. So for us, man, I don't know why I remember as a young child having a lot of church services on Sunday, on Christmas. It felt like Christmas was on a Sunday all the time when I was a shorty.
Maybe because you was going to church.
Right. No matter what it was, I thought it was Sunday. But my pastor's birthday was on Christmas. And so that was a big deal for us. We was kind of like, almost like, dang, he's Jesus for real. You know, like in our mind, we was like, December 25th. Who's born on December 25th? Not that much Jesus. But we look and idolize our pastors. I think back then, man, it was like the pastor was like the attorney, the realtor, the counselor. He was everything. And so I think spending so much time at my church is what I remember around the holiday season, was being with family and spending a lot of time with family in church and celebrating him because his birthday was around Christmas time.
Well, on that note, we're going to take a short little musical intermission, and we're going to hear you play a little Christmas carols. I think Go Tell It on the Mountain and some other song, Silent Night. So you all stay there. All right, we'll be back. Hi, Eric Maurice Clark here, sharing ways that you can support Gospel Diaries. First and foremost, thank you so much for your interest in this platform, and let's support every artist that appears on this program. All right, so we do have a magazine. It's entitled The Gospel Music Gazette, and you can obtain a copy by going to ericmauriceclark.com. That will help us share and help spread our purpose here at Gospel Diaries. Also, you can donate by way of Zelle, Cash App, or traditionally through mail. We do appreciate you, and as I always say, love on someone and you will change your life. Bye. All right, welcome back. Listen, I'm enjoying this. Are you enjoying this?
Man, this is good, man. You making me remember things that like
Mhm.
I'm like, oh man, I forgot that
Mhm.
those parts of my life. But
Mhm.
yeah,
I'm appreciative because I think the more you know, the more you grow, and the
true.
more I love memories. I'm a
Hmm.
nostalgic person because they just keep you in balance,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
that's why Oh, I don't know why I'm going here. You remember the song "Precious Memories"?
yes.
When I was young, I used to hear that song. I actually heard Aretha Franklin sing. I had no clue what that song was.
Mm, mm,
But now as I live today, I understand precious memories. Oh,
yeah.
how they
They
linger.
linger, man.
And oh, they ever floods my soul
They
with
do,
joy,
they do, they do. Because
Yeah.
I mean, I think the memories that you have, and again to bring up your dad, man,
Mm-hmm.
the memories that I had with your dad, just making sure. I mean, I saw production on a grand level
Mm-hmm.
from your dad in the
Mm-hmm.
'80s and '90s. It
Mm-hmm.
was crazy, like
Mm-hmm.
lights and stuff. I'm like, why do we got all these lights? And he
Mm-hmm.
had big old cameras.
Big old
Like his
lights,
cameras was this big.
construction lights.
For real. So like that, just seeing that, I think just to know that that was the beginning of what
Yeah.
production was
Mm-hmm.
early on,
Yeah.
and seeing what you're doing now is incredible
Man,
because
it's
you're
gonna
just
tear
you
me
kind of like
up.
you for real you like you
Yeah.
pushing that envelope the same
Yeah,
way. Yeah.
yeah. And I think I carry my father's spirit too because he was appreciative. Like sometimes he would film for people and
Hmm.
they didn't really have funds, but it was
Yeah.
all about just the connection and about love.
Yeah.
And that's why
True.
oh Lord, here I go about to cry.
Yeah.
I'm here to love on
Yeah.
you. Okay.
Man, bless you, brother.
So let's
That's
get
crazy. It's crazy because I would never think that you even remembered
Oh
like the
yeah.
stuff that I did,
Oh
and we
absolutely.
started talking about stuff. I'm like, yeah, I guess I did do that. I
Oh
couldn't remember.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't keep up. So,
Yeah. So let's talk. Okay, where do we want to go first? Do we want to go Destiny, G3, or His People?
well, his people was first.
Okay, so let's
His
start there.
people was first.
Let's talk about the origins of His People.
Okay. So, speaking of the school in Oak Park, I used to do a benefit concert every year called Donald Woods and Friends, right? And it was a benefit concert. All the money that came in, we raised it for the school, and there was a donation to the school, Dorland Academy. So I had friends that would sing with me. It was my brother. You remember Shelton?
Some shout out to Cortez Cross. I was
Oh
just telling
yeah,
you he was happy I was coming out here to interview
yeah,
you.
yeah.
He was. That's your brother. Did he
He
pass
passed
away?
away, yeah, in
Okay, yes, I
2002.
just
Yeah.
found out about
So my brother would sing in the group with me. Incredible voice. He used to sing with Kenny Lewis. Yeah, yeah. He used to sing with Kenny
him.
Lewis. Incredible voice. So my brother, like a couple of like R&B artists like Iselina Elliott, uh, K Fox, all these artists used to sing with me. Like Danny Williams
Mm-hmm.
used to sing with me. Veronica has always sang with me. So Veronica has an incredible voice.
Love her.
So I've always had Imani.
Imani.
So we were always singing together. So I was just that was a once a year thing. I'm like, okay, thanks guys, see you later, and never thought about it. God gave me the idea of DJMS Productions in 2001, and that's my production company. And I hadn't been doing anything with it, kind of just doing concerts and stuff, and saying that I was putting it on as the production company. But God gave me an idea to put together a group, and He gave me the name. It was so clear. Um, His people.
Mm-hmm.
We are His people and the sheep of His pasture. That's the first thing I just kept saying. We are His people and the sheep of His pasture. I saw His people in bold letters. God deals with me in dreams. I wake up, they're like, I heard this song in a dream. Y'all, let's try to sing it. That's the way God deals with me. And so I saw His people just as bright as day. And so I called all these people. I said, hey, let's get together. Let's do something. They like, okay, do what? I said, a live recording. A live recording? Yeah, let's do some original music. I called a couple of other artists here, writers here in Chicago, um, to do some live music. And everything good?
Yeah, because I was gonna pan it off. I was gonna pan me off of it.
Oh,
But
okay.
go ahead, finish.
Yeah. So we did some live music, and real amazing writers. Mark Wright, myself,
Mark Wright. That's a
yeah.
name I haven't heard in a long time.
Mark Wright is an incredible writer.
Mhm.
Myself, Henry Johnson, Papoose.
Mm-hmm.
Henry Johnson wrote a song.
Wait, from Divine Connection, Henry Johnson?
No, not
there
the.
is another Henry
Yeah,
Johnson.
another Henry
Yes,
Johnson
yes,
over here out
yes,
west
yes.
as another player.
Mm-hmm.
And so my pastor it was on that record, and so I just wanted to do something that we hadn't seen on the West Side. I'm a huge fan of Kurt Carr,
Mm-hmm.
and I wanted to like emulate Kurt Carr. And that group of people with Dante Hall, Martin Woods, Imani Wilkerson, Vernard Burton, Zeta Smith, Tanya Cuffey. I said Imani. My wife Latoya, Tanya Cuffey, Veronica, the Kaya Holmes, um, a girl named Natalie Pollard. She sang in the group. These were some incredible people to all put in one space.
Mm-hmm.
People couldn't believe that they were just all in one space together. And when people would hear us sing, they would go like this. They just stood there and they sat there. So I would think they didn't like us because the vocals were so rich and the tones were so rich and the everything was just coming together. And people would look at them with their mouth wide open like. So I'm like, oh man, the people don't like us. But when the song was over, they would just yell and scream and stand up. It was almost like they had just never seen that level of production and vocal prowess from singers like that.
Right.
Incredible singers. Yeah. And so God gave me to put that group together, and we released a record in 2008 called His People Is Going On.
Man, there's one song on there, Somebody Did.
Oh, yeah. That's my mom's song, man. Yeah, my mom sang a little bit of that song. So I got that from her, from her song, Who Made the Mountains, old school, right? And so I just sat down and did a little arrangement to Somebody Bigger. People love this. I think it's the melody. People like, it's and that's how the song starts. That's the intro too, the little tonal bass. And so people kind of identify with that. But yeah, man, that was a great group. We just celebrated 20 years this year.
And you released a single not too long ago.
Released a single.
Is it called
All the Way? Yes, All the Way. We just released a single. And Imani, again, has been with me since the beginning. And, just incredible people. I love to surround myself around people that I feel are better than me in their respective areas.
I think it's a song that Buster wrote. It's a Buster original. Come on back and hear it about no appreciation. Also, the tribute to you. You'll get a breakthrough. Deliverance.
Whatever I missed with DeAndre, he'll clean up. I was always the teacher and trainer, but I always had somebody like, hey man, clean that up for me. Make sure it sounded like it's supposed to sound. So Martin is incredible, but everything that you hear there almost took a life of its own because they were such amazing singers. Right. You know what I'm saying? So they were like creating little nuances and things that I didn't even teach them. They just knew to put it there because of their excellent vocal abilities. So I didn't even really have to work hard, man. I knew who I was putting together. Right. I knew I was saying he's gonna work well with him. He's gonna work well with him. She'll compliment her. She'll compliment her. I made sure that it was like that. And so literally I could like teach a part of a song and they would execute it like I heard it. It was incredible. Paul and my brother and Bernard and Zeta, and they all have a group that they call, it's a subgroup called The People. That they don't sing, but they're just friends. And so they call themselves The People. But like I said, those relationships that were built, it's the same way with G3 when we started talking about them. Those kids didn't know each other.
Let's talk about G3. First of all, I believe you shared how you got the name on one of your albums, but just on Gospel Diaries. Let me see if I can remember it. G3, does it mean God gets the glory?
That's
right?
what it means.
So
God
right.
gets, I took the out, glory.
So basically it's just G 3 times.
Yep, G 3 times. Yep.
Okay. So
and that's another thing I saw. in my dream.
Really?
Yes, I
Let's
saw
talk
the
about these
G
dreaming.
and I saw the 3. It was
Let
insane.
me ask you this now: are you coming from church services? Are you coming up?
No, man, it's probably food. It's what I had to eat before I got to bed. The Lord be like, "Hey, man, take this." No, for real.
Okay.
Like, no, seriously, I'm not in it like a spiritual space. Like, God, give me.
Yeah.
He literally told me. I know. I'm gonna tell you what it was. I was playing at New Mount Pilgrim, and I saw 80 kids get up there and sing. Kids though, babies, like ages 5 to about 11, sing on stage with a children's choir. And I said, "Where did these kids come from?" They was like, "They'd be downstairs at children's church every Sunday." And I said, "Wow, that's crazy." And it was crazy. They sound good. And I said, "Well, what's up? Where's the youth choir?" So like 12 on up. And I was like, "Well, it's only like 10 of them." I thought to myself, like, that ain't cool. And even then, I was forward thinking about me as an educator. Like, man, like, this is not right. We should be pouring into children at that age too. How come we can't keep them in church, and how come we can't keep this going? Right? What happens between that age that they say, "Okay, that's it, that's enough. I'm not going to be coming to church anymore"? And so God gave me to start G3. A singing aggregation of ages 14 to 22. It was essentially high school freshman to college senior, right? And I didn't know what was gonna happen, man. I put it in the atmosphere. I put together a team. My wife has been supportive throughout the years through every single thing I put my hands to.
Your wife's name?
Latoya Woods.
That's a beautiful name.
Hey, yeah, Latoya. That's my bae. We're celebrating 22 years. This year. So, literally, man, I needed to start something that would touch that demographic. I felt that demographic was lacking, and so I didn't know. First rehearsal, I had like 12 kids. I'm like, oh Lord. And then the worst, back then it was MySpace, and I put a flyer on MySpace, and people saw the flyer on MySpace. The second week it was like 20 kids. The third week it was like 30 kids. The next week it went back down to 12. I said, "Oh Lord, well, that was good while it lasted." The following week, I didn't know that those people were bringing people from everywhere. We had kids from Evanston driving in, kids from Markham, Illinois driving in, kids from the South Side driving in, kids from the West Side. It was a group of kids, like, literally from all walks of life in all neighborhoods and areas. If we could get them disciplined, so you said beat over the head. Yeah, I was probably a little bit of a tyrant because I wanted them to have order, right? I knew if we could, everybody's life was so like this, and when they came here, I wanted it to be like, all right, let's figure out how we can be us, right? So we would learn Bible scriptures. We had a thing we would say, we will not just be a singing aggregation, we will know the word. And so sometime even before our concerts, before we would sing at different engagements, we would quote scriptures first, because I had them learning like 15 scriptures, and we would quote those scriptures in rehearsal. We would quote those scriptures at engagements, at churches, at events. People were more impressed with those Bible verses that they knew than even our vocal ability. So it was really, really cool. I think it was a time where those kids needed me and I needed them.
Like, listen, I'm gonna be honest. I'm looking because I don't want to miss any song.
Wow.
I mean, I just the whole
you
Vincent
pulling out
Bohannon.
Yeah, Vince.
He brought up No Skips. Well, it's probably been around before him, but I remember him saying it for his latest album, No Skips. This is truly a no skip album. You know what I mean?
It's a really good record, man.
So when we talk about putting an album together, like how do you put it together with the songs, the composers, the musicians? Like, what does that entail?
So we were legendarily known for having at least 20 musicians in our group. I don't know why. God just blessed me. I've had the greatest, like, all of these guys have gone on to do amazing things. they're playing for the top artists like J.J. Harrison and James Fortune, and they play for Percy Gerald Gray and for all those guys. But I was blessed to have great musicians. I was blessed to have amazing singers in my group. You got Perry, you got who else? Perry, Jamie. We talked about Jamie.
Wait, Jamie, light skinned Jamie?
No, this is a girl.
Okay.
She's the one who's saying that's what he's done.
Okay.
So we have a whole lot of great singers in the group, and we had a whole lot of great musicians, and got a chance to work with those guys on a great level. And then the writers. Actually, I wrote some songs on that record. There was some other artists who came in and wrote songs on that record. And so it was. I mean, you got to name some songs so I could.
Who wrote That's What He's Done?
I wrote that.
So that's your musical concept.
Yes. And then I gave it to the other. Now, let me say this. I gave it to these young boys. Because, when I played, I would play it on organ. And when I played on organ, I played it with everything. Bass, just the vibe I want. They would take it and put all the other stuff on it. And you mentioned Phil Lassiter, which is a friend of mine in Dallas. Amazing. Well, he doesn't live there anymore. He lives in Europe now. But amazing horn arranger. So I think putting all those elements together is very important. The writing, the lead singer, the background singer. All that stuff is very important.
Who wrote History?
Me.
Okay, so where was your mind at? Like the concept of the song.
I want to say it might have been from a sermon.
Okay.
Because it talks about
victory already
won, right? And your problems are history, right? Yeah. And so I think it was probably for inspiration from a sermon. I might have heard it somewhere, but I know I heard da-da-da-da-da-da, heard that da-da-da-da, and the organ used to be sitting right here, and the kids used to be right here, and I used to say, "Okay, let's try this," right? And I know Alonzo and a couple of the other guys, they'd be like, "Hey, let's add this little part." The kids were so. I thank God because I was always given creative people around me. People like Calvin, Alonzo, Josh, those Marquita, Curtis Diggs, Janelle was the choir director. Yes. So they will Trey. They will all have great input. They were like, "Well, let's add this part on there." I'm like, "All right, let's try." It was always very open. I think that's why they felt like they were a part of it, because they all had a little bit of input, right?
I mentioned this song before we move, and then I have to ask you about your fondest memory with G3.
Yeah.
But man, you did good when you got Minister Tim Wright on Be Exalted.
Oh yeah, Be Exalted. Yeah.
Do you know I used to ride my bike to that song? I
really?
used to screenshot it. I used to send it to you.
Man,
I would have it on repeat. Like, he would wear me out.
No, but that's nothing. You should see him sing it.
I think I found one video on YouTube.
The dude used to be on 10,000, bro. Tim already jumped high in the sky. I'll never forget Tim. I just want to bring this up. My mom was on her literal deathbed. She died the day after this. I was featured on Channel 2 News. And I wanted to do Be Exalted. And guess what? I forgot to call Tim. I got to call him and ask him, could he come meet me to do this recording at 5 a.m. with Channel 2? I called him the night before. I said, Tim. He said, "What's up, brother? How you do?" Tim always, "Hey, brother, I love you, brother." Tim, in the morning at 5 a.m., I need you to, what? He was like, "I'm going to be there." I said, "Man, my mom is on the deathbed. We're performing a gospel fest the next day, and I need you to. I want you to sing on this thing. And my mom's gonna watch it. She can't come to gospel fest, but she's gonna watch this Channel 2 News segment." And Tim said, "Man, anything for you." And I hope that. And my mom loves him. And I hope that your mom watches it. And that was one of the last things my mom saw before she closed her eyes and never woke up again. Because when you're in hospice, you had that time when you still kind of lethargic, right? And then you lose it. That was one of the last things she saw, me performing on Channel 2 News before she closed her eyes. So Tim White means a lot to me. But that song, Exalt His Name, a great song. It was supposed to be just high energy.
The Clark Cole, I believe it was at Mother Lavonia Woodley's birthday
Yes, her
celebration
birthday
last
celebration.
year.
Yeah.
And he really ministered through the organ. And Alonzo Berry, right?
Yeah, what's his name?
He was actually with Buster today. And so I'm going to ask them to do that song, and we're going to see what happens. So y'all stay tuned and see if we see it. But before we go,
That's
I
crazy.
want you all to support this man. I'm going to put his Cash App on the app right now. Now,
That's crazy.
you have writers in your family, I believe, because is this your son or something?
My sons, yes, both of my sons. They wrote a book called Don and Do Talk About Being Loving Brothers. And it was just, you know, they kept on saying, I want to write a book. And I was like, yeah, okay, man, whatever. You know, when kids say something, if they say it like 3 or 4 times, you should take a listen, because that might mean it might be something behind it. And they were like, I want to write a book. I said, okay, now we start writing this book. You know, so I started gathering illustrators, found an amazing illustrator to help me with illustration. And they said this is the topics. We want to talk about being loving brothers. So what does that look like? How does it feel when we go walk the dog? What does it look like when we go do certain things together as a family? You know, things like that. So they had the ideas. I said, if you have the ideas, we're gonna put it together. Wow. And that's what happened. Yeah, they came up with a really good idea.
Is it still available on Amazon?
It is available on Amazon.
What's the name of it?
Don and Do Talk About Being Loving Brothers.
And I'm going to put that on the screen, and the link is going to be in the caption, so look for it. And you have a new project out. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yes, this is called The Family Planner. So it's kind of weird. My wife and I started writing a book called Balance for the Believer, right? It's a book to teach you, kind of walk you through balancing ministry, family, sports. It's just so much that comes with raising a family. Piano lessons. You got to take them to the doctor. You got to take them, and so much. And so we started writing that book, but we didn't finish the book, right? So this was supposed to be the companion booklet to it. This one is what we finished first. Wow. But we get together as a family and we plan our week out. And so on Sunday nights we go, okay, man, what we got for the week? We write it down, and we use this planner to write down what we have for the week. And and so we decided to put this together, all 4 of us, me, Don, my wife, Donovan. We put this together. It's a bunch of pictures of my beautiful family on the back of here. But yeah, this is a book that is also available on Amazon.
How much is it on Amazon?
$17.
What's your Cash App, Buster?
My Cash App is $DON BUS yes TER.
Let me see if I see your picture. There you go. So look, I have my copy. So you all go get your copy.
Definitely.
And y'all enjoy.
This is for him. Hey, this is so amazing. I just want to say again, man, thank you for taking our time to. You use the word love on me, bro. That means a lot because people sometimes forget your contributions, forget what you did, forget that you wrote a book, forget that you played for the render, forget that you put a choir out, forget that you did a group, forget. That's not necessarily for the glory of me, but it's just for the fact that you remember. It means a whole lot.
But can I piggyback off of it? Even though
this is yours. Yeah,
thank you so much. I remember, but from the bottom of my heart, your music has touched my heart.
Wow, man.
You know what I mean? It's like it's because I have music out, and sometimes you wonder, like, you know, do people listen to it? Like, how is it effective or whatever? But trust me, man, your music is effective because you wouldn't. I couldn't even tell you how many times I probably listened to half the songs on repeat. Like, and this is just the honest to God truth. I'm talking about with the CD in the car.
Wow, bro.
So, man, your music is touching. So we'll be right back, y'all. Hi, Eric Maurice Clark here, sharing ways that you can support Gospel Diaries. First and foremost, thank you so much for your interest in this platform, and let's support every artist that appears on this program. All right, so we do have a magazine. It's entitled The Gospel Music Gazette, and you can obtain a copy by going to ericmauriceclark.com. That will help us share and help spread our purpose here at Gospel Diaries. Also, you can donate by way of Zelle, Cash App, or traditionally through mail. We do appreciate you, and as I always say, love on someone and you will change your life. Bye. When I look back
back over my life, and I see all the things God's done for me. Been through danger, heartache, and sorrow. I thank God He blessed me still. I could have been dead and gone, but the Lord, He spared my soul. Now I can say that I'm still here, and it's by the grace of God. I'm still it's by the grace of God. I am still here. It's by the grace of God. I am still here. It's by the grace of
I hope you all enjoyed that. Listen, that man is anointed to do what he do. And listen, I don't know if you can really see the sign, but we're in the first location.
The first location.
Is it?
This is the first church that Pastor DeAndre Patterson birthed out.
Okay.
This is the church.
So did he have another building besides this one before this one?
We were right next door in the fellowship hall.
Okay,
We were in the fellowship hall.
Okay. Well, we're
that's where we
close.
started.
Close proximity.
Yep, right here.
So if you see Destiny Worship Center, so we have to pay homage to the living legend himself.
Yeah.
An icon in gospel music. He's a humanitarian, just an all-around great person.
He really is.
So we're here. So tell us about your relationship with Pastor DeAndre Patterson.
So, wow, that's weird to talk about him like that. Like the legend. Because he really is.
He's been doing it. Listen, I was a teenager when he's alive. I'm begging my mama to go to Gospel Rack to get the CD.
He's a man, Gospel Rack. Oh, you bring back memories. So Pat, I remember. I'm just gonna put this out here. I used to go to Progressive in Maywood and sit in the balcony and wish one day that I could play with that choir, play with Wendell Lowe, play with Mike Manson, play with Chris Anderson, play with Tim Fullerton. I would always try to figure out like, man, one day, man, I'll be able to play with them. I wonder, will I? You know. And one day they heard me play at a small church. DeAndre Patterson heard me play at a small church. He said, "Man, you can play. Well, who you play for?" I said, "Well, I play at Corinthian Temple for Mother LaVanya Whitley and Bishop Allison." He was like, well, okay, nice knowing you." I guess it was like out of respect, you know. Now I was like, no, you know what's up? You know, I was at that time I was trying to make a transition. I had been at Corinthian about 8 or 9 years. And so they were like, yeah, well, you know, we wanna try. I need to get another musician. Are you willing? At Progressive, and that's how me and DeAndre met.
You went to Progressive.
DeAndre was the minister. DeAndre was the minister of music of Progressive,
exactly.
And I played at Progressive with Pastor DeAndre for those 5 or 6 years, and then he put his album out. I produced his first album.
You talking about the one on Ty Scott or the one?
The one on Ty Scott.
Okay.
I produced that record.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
Chambers
on there.
New Day.
Yeah, Brand New Day. That's my. I wrote that.
What?
I wrote Brand New Day.
New Day.
Dang, bro, you know I was. That was 2004, right?
Yeah.
So right around that time is when Donald Alford launched Pastor D to start Destiny. Well, he said to me, Donald Alford said, "Hey man, I want you to go and support D. Y'all start at 2, so you still play for me in the morning, right?" So I'm like, okay, cool. So I'm still playing at Progressive in the morning. 2:00 we have service. And that's how I walked in the door with him, June 13th, 2004.
2004.
We're 20 years old too.
Yeah.
Destiny is 20 years
old. And guess
old.
what? I was 20 years old in 2004.
Wow. But that's when that record came out.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So you was not at Progressive when He's Alive came out?
No. So
what about
He's Alive was already out. I started playing at the church the day after I Made It was recorded.
Okay.
So I actually was in rehearsals for I Made It.
Okay.
But the band was already set, and they were like, you know, and so they recorded on Saturday, and that next day I started playing for Progressive.
Okay. Wow. So talk about the joy that you have just being here. Because trust me, if you didn't have no joy in your heart, I don't think you'd still be here. Would
no,
you still be here?
20 years. No. It's ups and downs, of course. Okay. It's a church. So, you know, you have your lean years, and you have your abundant years. You have your celebratory time, you have your sad time when we lose members and stuff. But overall, man, this has been an incredible experience these last 20 years at Destiny. Pastor D is a choir master, and people really do kind of look over that with him. He is a true choir master, and I've learned so much. I learned a lot from him at Progressive, but when I got here, I was able to work with him like Batman and Robin, and I got a chance to really see how excellent he is when it comes to musicianship. He's an excellent musician.
Now, Steve Jones, he was here. Puff,
that's crazy. I just talked to Puff this morning.
Really?
Yeah.
He was here
here as an assistant minister of music.
Man, remember that era when the Destiny Worship Center, was it the chorale?
The Destiny Worship and Praise Chorale. Yeah. That's the name of the choir. You know? They're still going strong, man. I don't have as many members. I have probably 25 now. And those 25 still sing. Like,
you all recorded an album.
We did.
Remember Maggie Bell Charles? She was featured on
that. Maggie Bell was on that record. We did that record in 2008, right?
2008. Okay.
And then we did another record in 2017.
Right, because now something was released from that one, right?
Yeah, something was released from that one. But actually, we're putting both of the albums together.
Okay.
I chose 5 songs off one, 6 songs off another, and we're releasing the whole project. It's going to be called Sunday Night Broadcast, because you know that's what we were known for.
Now, do you remember how, like, on Sunday nights, like this church right here, like you couldn't even get in this church?
No, bro.
Like,
this
seriously.
Literally people. It was always about 15, 20 musicians on that wall. Always chairs in the aisle. Always people standing outside. We used to have people join the church from outside. People be like, I want to join the church. Okay, you a drive-by member. We would call them drive-by members. But yeah, man, this the broadcast, the Chicago broadcast experience I think it ran its course because people like now like we don't. I mean, church is different and everything. I don't want to blame it on the pandemic, but when you
It's evolution.
yeah things change.
Hi, Eric Maurice Clark here, sharing ways that you can support Gospel Diaries. First and foremost, thank you so much for your interest in this platform, and let's support every artist that appears on this program. All right, so we do have a magazine. It's entitled The Gospel Music Gazette, and you can obtain a copy by going to ericmauriceclark.com. That will help us share and help spread our purpose here at Gospel Diaries. Also, you can donate by way of Zelle, Cash App, or traditionally through mail. We do appreciate you, and as I always say, love on someone and you will change your life. Bye.
Talking about
the
here.
church music that touches your heart.
what are we talking about
I
here?
like good old hand clapping.
Yeah.
I'm talking about church music.
Hey man,
Sunday morning
I
church
am a
music.
proponent for Jesus music, period. So if it's CCM, if it's hardcore gospel, traditional, contemporary gospel, whatever, I am a proponent of it. However, you can never ever negate the fact that that other music that we had is still making a profound impact on the world. When I go to Europe, we just got back from Europe. Me and Alonzo went to Norway. We did Norway. The way those people honor our craft and honor our genre is incredible. I did tours in Italy, Sweden. Those people honor gospel music, but they don't honor this new music. They honor what we were doing before, right? I remember one time we did a tour in Italy, and you have to close with "Oh Happy Day," right? Well, I told my group we're not closing. I took his people out there. I said we're not closing with "Oh Happy Day." We're gonna walk off the stage.
Okay.
Man, it was a riot.
Yes, sir.
They said "Happy Days, Happy Days." I mean, it was crazy. I had never heard anything like that. We run back out on the stage, and I started playing it on the piano. The pop, I got the word pop from wrestling. The pop that I heard when I started playing that song, it was like a rah! I had never heard anything like that. We were in a theater in Rome. They really respect our discipline, and so I think we should never forget it. If those people respect it, we should respect it. So that's what I'm really tied to. Gospel music is powerful.
Buster?
It's powerful.
First, surely, how did you get this nickname?
You blame that on my daddy, man. So I was maybe like 1 year old, and I used to be really busy,
Mhm.
and so I would like 1 or 2. And my dad used to take naps. He worked nights. I had my mom was a daytime worker. My dad was a nighttime where he worked nights. He would take naps, and I was at home with him. Well, one day he saw me, and I'm standing up on the table, and he said, "Get down from there, you buster!"
Okay.
And that name stuck with me while he was asleep. He just something told him, "Wake up, your son's probably doing something he's not supposed to." And that's where I got the name Buster.
Wow.
So you blame that on Donald Wood Sr., who's still around with us today.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we thank you for your nurturing of all 3 of your sons.
Yes, I had 3 sons, man.
You have sisters?
No, there no girls, man.
Okay, well, we thank you for your nurturing.
No girls. I thank God for my son, Tori Price. Of course, Tori is my stepson, but I don't call him my stepson. When I came into his life, he was 5.
Yeah.
And so I've been in his life. He's 30 years old, about to be 30 years old. Don, who's Donald the Third, and then Donovan. And I got a little grandbaby too.
You
Yeah, she's 6 years
do? So
old.
you're Papa.
I'm a papa. I know, granddaddy.
They call it granddaddy.
With an I. Granddaddy.
Diddy.
Right here. So it's no, not Diddy. Granddaddy though. But so life is very rewarding for me, man. I'm really grateful for what God has allowed me to experience and allowed me to do. And I'm just glad to be alive, bro. We've lost a lot of great musicians and singers. Like you think about Cornell Thigpen. Just the other day, Luke Austin Jr.
Yes.
Yeah, Luke Austin passed. And so.
And his daddy.
What, Sonny? Musician par excellence, bro. That's what I'm saying. Like Chicago is so rich with tradition and musicianship. Like it's no other musicians like Chicago.
Do you ever listen to the St. Luke Youth Choir with Luke?
Yeah, man.
Did you
He
hear
was killing that stuff on that organ.
80s, late 70s?
Playing that organ like it was a piano.
I'm like, man.
Yeah. He was incredible. But even if you think about him playing I'm One of Them Today or I Won't Complain. It transcends time. Literally, you going like, oh, that's God. No, if you listen to it right now, it sounds like he played it yesterday. Exactly. And so, Chicago's so rich. I'm glad to be a part of the fabric of what brings gospel music alive. Yeah. That's Chicago, bro.
Yep. Well, Buster, thank you so much.
Man, thank you for having me, man.
I enjoyed this time.
This has been fun, man.
Yeah. Hey, we got to do this again because we can delve into some more, like, just some of your experiences. But I just really wanted to bring you on here, spread some love on this holiday season. So if you give the audience some words to spread some love to them on this Christmas season. Yeah,
well, I will just say, man, love on your people, man. While they're here, love on your people. You don't know how long you have. And so life is very fleeting and it goes very fast. And it's filled with swift transition. And people think that's a joke. Like we say it all the time, like life is filled with swift transition, but it really is. You can look up one day and you're alive. The next day you're gone. One day you have the activities of your limbs. The next day you don't. So please love on your people while you can, and always do what I said earlier. Stay with God. And I think you'll be all right.
Oh, absolutely. And I want to thank Alonzo Berry.
Yes.
I'm going to put his social media handle on the screen.
Yeah, Alonzo Berry. Hey, look, that's my dude, okay? Y'all see him around? That's because he's around for a good reason. Oh, yeah. The guy's an incredible writer, singer, all of that. So, yeah, I'm grateful to have him with us.
Yeah, and you all make sure you follow him. And if I'm not mistaken, he's on, I think the album came out in 2015 or one of them. Winning.
He's on the Winning record.
2015?
Alonzo actually co-wrote on Winning. He wrote I want to say the verses or something. Did you write the verses for Winning? The bridge, yeah.
That bridge that'll take you in. I was in tears in that car.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Listen, y'all, as I always say, I love the boy. He said as his last words, but I always say this: love on someone, and trust me, you will change your life. And I'll see y'all later. Bye.
Wow.